Deathwatch.
Alright, hello and welcome to Deathwatch Productions. This is Justin. I will be your keeper for this session of Call of Cthulhu, Seeker of the Depths. We had a bit of an issue with the saving of the recording last week, so we lost the second half of it. So I'll do a quick recap. After Dr. McTarnahan soaked his feet, everyone bedded down for the night. In the morning, they woke up and they went into the cave. They traveled down quite a ways where they found the hub that G.E. Kincaid had mentioned in his original report. They had followed another passage down and found some semi-mummified human creatures laid out on platforms, and one of them had broken open, and one of those lizard-like creatures had come out. And while they were discussing what had happened there, a Hopi woman approached them. During that undertaking, William Sterling had lost his mind, and he had reverted to believing that everything that was going on was a dig in Egypt that he had already been on previously. So we're going to be picking up from the point where instead of going into the cave, the characters wake up in the morning and realize that each of them had had a shared dream of the experience, and they have yet to go into the cave. So to start things off, let's do character introductions. Chris?
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing Dr. Eugene McTarnahan. PTSD has forced me to take a sabbatical, and that sabbatical has led me to a bunch of caves in the middle of the Grand Canyon.
I'm Brandon. I'll be playing Arthur Johansson, a simple man that has spent most of his life
shooter
on the Colorado River as a guide, and I know nothing about Egypt or Egyptians, but I've already seen some things here that are quite disturbing to me.
I'm Travis. I'm playing James Higgins, an occultist and scholar in other abnormal studies. And I'm probably very alarmed at the state I'm in after having such a dream. So vivid.
This is occult type stuff.
And John?
What?
And I'm John, playing Harold Jacobson, a dead family survivor and Indian friend. We'll call it that. I was currently taking jobs with Arthur Johansson, who has also never been to Egypt or knows about Egyptian things.
All right. So, yeah, the next morning you all wake up. You're a little bit shaken by this weird dream. Like, it seemed a little too real for you. But once you get up and move in, yeah, everything seems okay. Although you do notice that William Sterling and G.E. Kincaid have both gone missing.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we'll pick up from there.
I'll walk out of my tent with my flask open, and I'll be drinking because I had such an odd dream last night that I've decided to move my drinking to the morning and not drinking before bedtime. Hopefully that will even things out.
You are blameless.
I am.
I'm sorry, did anybody see Kincaid or Sterling this morning?
Oh, look around.
I have not seen him.
No.
I've not seen either of them. Did anybody hear him leaving in the night?
No?
Harold,
Didn't
will you
hear
see if you can
anything.
find some tracks?
Yeah, I can look for some tracks.
What about, because I think we were having our porters stand watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go.
No, your porters had gone. They're going down the river to meet you at the next spot.
Right.
Well,
So-
perhaps they traveled with the porters.
I
So you had kind of
succeeded
mentioned-
so hard.
Hard.
So yeah, for the tracks, yeah, it looks like they just walked out of their tents. Like you can see footprints out in front of their tents, and yeah, they head off
In which direction?
in the direction of the cave that you guys are going.
Okay. So they
Looks
must have
like they
wanted
got
to
an
get ahead
early
of us,
jump.
which is one of the dumbest things I can think of them doing.
Well, they are
Well,
learned
there's nothing
men.
for it but to catch up, I would think. But, Doctor, you mentioned a disturbing dream. If you don't mind me asking, what was the nature of it?
Some hogwash about, I don't know, a bunch of mummified bodies or something on like some, was it altars?
Yeah,
Some altars or something inside one of these caves. Just a bunch of rubbish. Because you guys been filling my heads with all this weird oogie boogie stuff.
Interesting. I had...
I had the very same dream.
I had a similar
know?
dream. I wonder
there
if the
anything in my-
dream caused the madness to take hold, and that's why they.
My sanity is a bit lower.
I was talking about Kincaid and Sterling, but
They
it
went mad
probably
from a
the
dream.
doctor too. I mean, why not?
Well, I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah.
What I was asking you before when we were doing character introduction was, does he subscribe or ascribe to the, like, I'm trying to remember the word, like, the meaning and dream
yeah.
type stuff.
Yeah.
I figured he would.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how... I always lose track of how mainstream that sort of thing is in the 1920s. Because I think Freud, like his writings are only like 30 years old or something.
Yeah. Haven't quite caught on yet. All right.
But I mean, I probably, if it is esoteric or like fringe knowledge, I guess there would be a chance I had studied it. What do you think, Justin? Is there anything from my learned background that would...
Roll your occult.
So did he take my shotgun
With,
with him too, or
with,
can I get that back?
Not advantage.
A bonus die?
A bonus die, yeah.
I'll just roll another one.
Yeah.
So I guess I rolled a... Because that would be
Yeah, it still would have been the 73 that you had originally rolled. You can
the lowest one.
you can buy the roll if you want, or you could push it and get.
Yeah, I guess I'll take a look at my journal to change it to the library use check. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So like, that does remind me of something, and I'll start flipping through, shielding my journal search from the good doctor. So he took offense to it last time. Got a success, regular.
All right. So yeah, you have heard of, especially when dealing with cultists or odd deities and whatnot, that there have been portents or even lucid dreaming where people have experienced real situations in a dream, or even been transported to other places, other worlds. So
Okay.
now that being said, it was a dream, and your mind still kind of slowly sheds it as
Right.
you work through the morning. So even though it has stuck with you, it is slowly fading.
Well, it is curious, but I think the business of following Kincaid and Sterling should be our top concern. As Sterling is missing, I am now the leader of this expedition.
I agree with your first part. I disagree entirely with the second.
I wouldn't do that, sir. James is too unsure of himself.
But I do agree. If they have ventured in either under their own cognition or lack thereof, that we should definitely pursue them. They could be injured by now. Lord knows that. What's his name? The leader of this expedition.
Kincaid.
Lord knows that Kincaid ain't got a brain in his noggin.
Yes, but I find it very out of character for Sterling. He's normally very careful.
I don't know.
To a fault, some might say.
You know him better than I do, but he had all them Egyptian writings that had gotten into his noggin too. I think he got the scent something special going on, so he's probably got a wild hair up him.
Well, guides are Arthur and Harold. Are you guys ready to set out this morning?
Oh, yeah. Are you?
Yes. I think we just, because they had packed up most of the camp, so we just probably had
Yeah, you just
some
had
few
the
personal belongings.
the basics, some bedrolls, a tent.
Yeah, so I'll roll up my stuff and get ready to go.
Yeah, I'll gather up my travel medical bag and the shotgun. and get ready.
All
It was
right.
all set out tracking Sterling and Kincaid's tracks to the cave. Make sure that they still follow that direction.
All right, so we'll continue using your hard track success for right now. Yeah, you follow their tracks. They seem to be walking, like you can see more scuffs and stumblings than you would normally expect from them. So, yeah, it wasn't like they were walking normally. Like the best you can,
Like drunk almost?
yeah,
or-
drunk or slightly dazed, or you've seen the same kind of tracks from people who are suffering from like heat stroke or something like that, where they're not fully in their senses. So yeah, you'll see like a step, and then you'll see like them drag one foot and then pick it up and put it down, and
veering off or snaking.
yeah.
But still just generally headed towards that cave.
Almost like a beeline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so what I needed, there was a climb there,
Yep.
and I remember doing it in my dream.
Yep. So go ahead and make your climb check. All right. Yeah, you scramble up with no problem. As you're climbing up, though, you see little bits of blood on the rocks, almost as if somebody had like scraped themselves and left a little drip here, or smear there.
Yeah, neither of those men were very accomplished climbers.
No.
So if they made it up here through some miracle, obviously they scraped themselves up a bit. That's what I'll say down to Harold, down at the bottom, and then I'll tie off a rope and throw it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sack of potatoes and back up. All right. So yeah, once you get up to the top, it's kind of eerie that it's the same as it was before. Once again, you see the same Hopi glyphs that are written just inside the cave, and yeah, even the statues. Like you get, as you're moving in, you get that feeling of deja vu, like every step of the way almost. The only thing that's different is you don't have Kincaid in the background, lauding his own accomplishments. And
All right. But was it Sterling that read these, or was it Harold? These Hopi signs. Who read these?
Harold
ones?
read the Hopi ones. Sterling had translated some of the Egyptian ones into, or translated some of the other runes
Okay.
using the Egyptian tablet that is still just on the other side of the door that you had gone through in your dream, and once again now.
Yeah, he had said there were parallels to Anubis and
Right.
the underworld
Yep.
and rebirth.
Okay. Well,
So yeah, Harold, yeah, you see the Hopi runes just inside the cave, and once again have no problem translating them as I believe it was the path of
Resurrection
path
or
of
something.
path of
rebirth
resurrection,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, resurrection and rebirth.
And the tracks are still going in this way.
Yep. Once again, after you get past the entrance, there's really not a whole lot of dust on the ground or any way for them to leave tracks, but there isn't any other direction they can go once they enter. So, yeah, you just kind of you can assume that they continued on down this path as long as you don't find them.
'Cause They
All right,
must have
well-
went this way.
Yeah, I'll turn on the old electric torch,
Okay.
or as I like to call it, the torchy,
Torchy?
and move forward into the cave there.
Suddenly Australian.
Yeah. Blinky flashy is what I'll call it. Yeah.
As
All right.
you got a coin e-torch now.
Yeah.
Start that trend early.
Uh,
All right.
torches.
Yeah, I'll shun the use of any modern marvels and shake my head and light a real torch. It gives off better light, anyways. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but it also gives us secondhand smoke.
Hey,
Yeah.
smoke is good for your lungs. All the
I'll say
doctors
makes them
agree.
strong.
smoking a rolled cigarette.
Yeah.
First thing
and the
everybody
doctor
knows,
can
first
tell you
thing's good
that
for you.
smoking is good for your health, especially if you're
Yep.
trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
Build strong lungs. Good for the child if you're pregnant as well.
Yeah.
It makes them smaller and easier to pass out.
But it also keeps insects out of your lungs.
That as
And
well.
evil spirits. Everybody knows this.
So this is the
That's why I always smoke. What was it back in the day? It was wasn't spirits. It was oh man, I always remember seeing the Lucille
Strike.
ball. Lucky Strike.
It's an old
Yeah.
one.
That's why I always smoke Lucky Strikes.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, once again, as you're going down the hallway, you continue to see those those iterations of the
Kneeling, laying, standing goddess.
Yep. Each iteration with a slightly different aspect to her, all the while like mostly human in form, but small characteristics changing each time. Slightly bigger eyes, bigger ears, gills, hands, feet changing slightly in semi-animalistic natures.
I was willing to put your guys' having the same dream as me up to being a prank, but I must admit that the sense of deja vu is rather astounding.
Yeah, this is exactly as I dreamed it.
Which means those mummies should be just ahead.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember if
Well, it
anything
was like-
bad happened or if it was just getting weird.
it was getting weird.
But I imagine Harold probably, or not Harold, but James starting to look a little shaken, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just as it had happened in your dream, you follow that passage for a bit over a mile. You can kind of assume Arthur and Harold can kind of guess the distance, and then the cavern opens up like it had in your dream, and in the center there's a statue of a human character sitting cross-legged, female. In each hand is a flower, and just like before in your dreams, you can recognize the flower as one that grows along the banks of the river of the Colorado that's used for medicinal purposes, and the character, this young Hopi woman, is standing or sitting there cross-legged on it. So you once again, like, you see the halls radiating outwards, and you can kind of deduce from their directions that they were.
I'll
they-
check to see if the mark I made in the dream is here.
Oh, yeah.
No, but the stones that you had used to make the mark are.
Am I still detecting that, like, breathing that I was hearing?
Yeah. The wind is coming in and out of
Yeah, at a perfect, yeah.
at a cadence that suggests like something breathing.
I will feel compelled to recreate the scene from my dream, and I will mark this rock and place it again as the signifier that this is the way back out.
All right. Yeah, and with every motion you make, it gets a little bit more unsettling in what you're doing.
Yeah, if Harold, friend to the Hope, he doesn't step forward to acknowledge the woman, then I guess, I'll look around, see for somebody to do it, but they don't want to be like, good morning.
Well, no, the Hopi woman isn't there.
It's the statue.
It's a statue.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
statue.
But you might want to check to make sure if it is a statue.
Well, then I
Like,
guess I'll check to see if they're still doing the movement on the mummies and stuff as we're looking around.
Well, the mummies were
They
in a
were
room
further down.
a little bit farther past. Kincaid had mentioned that, like, when you're standing in this central chamber, there are passages
Right. Okay.
that kind of lead upwards a little bit in
Yeah,
most of the directions, but directly behind it, there's one that goes
Yeah, and
down
we figured
farther.
that some of the ones, was it on our right, led back to the other entrance that we found.
Yeah, the ones that had been caved in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess there ain't nothing left to do except continue on forward, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Anyone want to take bets on whether or not it isn't a room full of bodies that are being dissolved and remade?
No, it's
I
far
think
too
it's
similar.
safe to say that, it's going to be exactly like the dream.
Well, dang it.
Well, I've never heard of dreaming of the future before. except in the Bible. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll pray as I
Time to start the prayers.
walk forward. Yeah.
God-fearing man.
I'll recite some prayers that I must have heard in Sunday school.
All right. So do you continue on down to the chamber where you were before?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, you get to that chamber, and this is the first time where things seem a little bit different. As you're standing in the room, there are not quite as many mummy things as there were before. Like there's still a few of these human shapes that have like a hard calcification of like almost like an exoskeleton that is formed around them, and all of them still have the golden chalice and the small little urn that is remnant of Egyptian. I can't remember what they're called.
What, like the canopic jars?
That's it. The
Yeah.
canopic jars. Yeah.
I'm going to pretend that this doesn't mean that a bunch of more of them have hatched and that it's just different. Oh, so yeah, it looks like this is a bit different here. Maybe that dream wasn't just some portent of the future. Right, gentlemen?
Yeah, I don't.
I'm going to
Was.
also look for a Kincaid or a Sterling.
I don't know.
Was that just
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I'm going to look for a mummy or a calcified mummy that resembles either of them while kind of laughing this all off.
Are you gentlemen still seeing signs that Kincaid and Sterling passed this way?
Well, I'll just kind of like cast about at the floor, but Harold will be the one that has to answer that. He's better at.
Nope.
Picking up on those
Can't
things.
find anything. There's no dust. There's no moss. Nothing to track through here.
Yeah.
You see, tracking on stone is pretty difficult.
Got to rely
Epic
on
level.
taste and smell.
Yeah. Tell him to lick the stone and tell me, what does it taste like? Does it taste like Sterling's boots?
How do you know? Well, before I begin any expedition, I taste all of my companions' boots.
Precaution.
Hmm.
All right. So is there anything else you want to do while you're in the room?
No, I mean, nope.
Yeah, like I said, I was gonna cast about and see if there happens to be a new calcified mummy that resembles
Although
Sterling or Kincaid.
I did just have an intrusive thought to start knocking over the canopic jars or throwing them,
They were
but I resisted.
empty but filled with residue.
Right, yeah.
So throw out some spot hidden checks.
Oh, no.
Everyone.
That's
I
almost a fumble.
spotted hidden so hard.
I failed.
I fumbled.
All right.
So I guess that said, I would caveat mine with I don't actually want to find them if they are here. So I'm not really looking about too hard.
So yeah, you're walking up and down, like, and in your mind, you're thinking you're looking for them, but really you're not actually looking at any of the bodies. Like you glance at them, but then you quickly glance away so that just the sight of them unsettles you. Harold Jacobson, though, he notices that the ones that had been like squirming in your dreams, next to them is like a powdery, crumbly substance.
I think I found Kincaid.
I'll
But
go
I'll,
over there
I'll
if he
call
actually
the
says it.
attention to it.
All right.
So yeah, let's see here.
What happened to me, Justin?
Do you want any sort of roll to see if we can discern what the powdery substance is, or do we just immediately recognize it as like
let's see.
broken, dusted cocoon?
Roll either a natural world, archaeology, or we'll let you do your medicine to make that connection.
Dang it, just ain't my day. I might just push that one though, but I can't think of.
You forget all medical knowledge and flashback to the train victims.
Yeah, I'll push it. 75. Come on. Yes.
All right. So Harold, you're like leaning down, kind of crushing it between your fingers, and
Taste it.
you catch the doctor's eye, and he comes over. He says, "I believe." Well, yeah, you recognize it as that same stuff that had been that is coating the outside
Okay.
of these other bodies.
That's
But
powdered calcified cocoon or whatever this stuff is. So something broke out, and was it like dissolving or breaking down at a
it's
rapid rate?
decaying now that it
Appears to be going on or undergoing a rapid decay process.
So are all the bodies gone from here?
Not all of them. There's still a few, but all the ones that you had noticed in the lost section of the episode that had been squirming are gone. And
Should we crack one of these things open?
We did. I don't want to rely too much on the dream, but I do believe we know what that road might entail for us.
Yeah, that's where that
Oh,
creature
yeah,
comes
that's right.
out.
Yeah, let's throw out another spot hidden real quick
I
for
don't-
everyone.
It didn't attack us, but I don't.
Dude,
Yeah,
I fumbled again.
extremely
That's the third, one.
spotted.
Meanwhile,
I
So
got a 1.
in Brandon land,
Brandon got a critical. Harold Jacobson got an extreme. So, yeah, Arthur, he is just standing in the center of the room looking around, and he notices 5 of these things that just underneath the surface of them are rippling a little bit. And you notice the ones right near you, like there are 2 within about 2 or 3 platforms away that you can spot a little bit of that ripple.
Yeah, these are rippling, boys.
Yeah.
They're right.
That's what happens
Time to get
right
out.
before they pop out.
But yeah, Arthur, you also spot a little bit of a bloody handprint on the far wall heading down farther into the chasm.
Hey, look at that. Do you see that? There's a handprint on the wall.
And the way that the blood is, it looks like somebody that might have, cut open their hand. So
Yeah.
you get like a partial bit of a print and a little bit of
Yeah.
fingers here and there. It's not like a well-defined one or anything, but
Yeah, so what you've got here is somebody scraped up their hand climbing, and then they put it on the wall here. So I think they went further down this way, and I don't think anything good's going to come out of this room.
I agree. I don't really want to be here when these things come out, as they were bad enough in the dream.
I think we should just abandon this.
Our,
I think God will
Our
forgive
host
us
is
in the
gone.
long run.
No, that's, well,
Ain't nothing good gonna come from us disappearing in this cave.
we do work for him. We did agree, and he's paying us. And I'm known as
A straight shooter.
who will always deal fair. So I'm going to keep looking for him. Plus, neither of those boys are well equipped to handle themselves in any dangerous situations. Can't just leave them to their fate. Not the Christian thing to do.
It
is the smart thing to do, however.
If that Hopi woman found him, then they're probably safe. We just need to go collect them. I have first-hand experience with this, so trust me.
Yeah, I'll look at them. I'll kind of last ditch hope with
Higgins,
Higgins
James Higgins.
to maybe side with me, at least get some split vote.
I think I'm having an out of body experience or something. I
Because you're
double
rolling
fumbled the
so
spot
bad.
hidden.
I don't see anything.
I think I shifted to the dimension that lies just out of human perception, and
Well,
I'm surrounded by pseudopod-like creatures. that
seeing that,
I'm seeing them siphon your energy off, and my.
seeing that there's no help there, I'll just kind of bow my head and all right, lead on.
All right. So yeah, you head down, and the tunnel starts to go down at a slightly greater angle than it had before. So now you're descending fairly rapidly. It's not hard to keep your footing or anything, but you are going down a pretty high grade ramp. But yeah, the cave continues on. No more of those statues, although there are sections of the wall that have those glyphs that you're unfamiliar with. They seem to come in like stripes every 30 or 40 feet, where there'll just be a vertical stripe of these glyphs and then continue on down. As you get down, that airflow becomes more and more pronounced. So, yeah, you continue heading down, and then in the distance, you can see in your light that it seems to open up. And at the same time it opens up, like the path continues into that, but it gets an even steeper decline.
All right. Looks like we got a pretty steep path up ahead, gentlemen. But I see something up ahead.
All right. So, yeah, you see this cavern open up ahead of you, and then the path continues on, but at a greater slope as it seems to descend down into what appears to be some giant chasm with a pit.
And then what? Is there a path around it, or it just ends at a pit?
Well, no, it descends down. It keeps on going down. Your flashlight can't see
All the way down the slope.
all the way down the slope.
All right, because I was imagining almost like an antlion trap, except ending in a pit.
That's almost what it seems like you're going into. Like the chasm this cavern opens up, but it still has like what almost seem like terraced steps downwards into, like, as it continues down.
Okay.
But yeah, the walls, like, once you enter in, they stretch out to either side as far as your light will see.
Okay.
But no danger of like sliding forever into a bottomless hole.
Not that you can see, no.
Okay.
You can still make it. You kind of, how when you're on a steep trail, you kind of have to lean back a bit to keep from like pitching forward. You've got to do that, so it's a little bit more difficult of a walk down, but it is still at a grade that you can manage without like sliding or having to climb down. And everybody roll a spot hidden.
Fumble fishing here, Justin. I got a success.
All right. Nice.
It's all going south now.
So yeah, when you first walk in, you're kind of shining your flashlight to the right and to the left and up above, and the chasm goes up quite a ways, and you can kind of see at the very edge of the light that that there is a cave roof there that appears to be worked stone, similar to the hallways that you've seen, and all along the walls. It looks like natural cavern, except like there are these weird bulges and pits in it.
Okay.
Weird how?
It just seems like they're alcoves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, would it look like a beehive or mud dauber nest or something?
Does it give us that? What's that term for when you see a bunch of holes in something?
Oh,
like if from a lotus pod seed.
Trichtophobia?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Similar to that, yeah. They're very shallow. They're all like they're about a foot deep or so.
Okay.
But yeah, one of the things that immediately pops in your head are like in certain Catholic churches, you'll see an alcove with like a Mary statue that has candles around it. They remind you of that.
I gotcha.
Where there might have been.
Is it
some
because they all
trappings.
have statues of Mary in them?
No,
Mother
no
Mary.
statues of Mary.
Full of grace.
But
Might be a lacking of faith, but I find that it might not have been as comforting to find the Virgin in a place such as this.
as you start your descent, everyone make a power check.
Ooh.
Never even done it.
Let's do it. Success.
Yeah, stuff's going sideways here. If I'm suddenly succeeding.
Harold. All right. So Arthur, yeah, you just like there's just something that gives you the creeps about this place. You can't really explain it. Well, okay, you can explain it, but there's something beyond that. Like
Weird stuff here.
like when you're in a haunted house or something like that, like there's just an oppressive feeling that you get that has no rational explanation.
Yeah, like when you turn the lights off and then you have to go upstairs.
Yeah. You've got that feeling as you're heading down. James Higgins and Dr. McTarnahan, you both have a little bit of that feeling, but it's more comforting to you than oppressive. And deep in the pit, you can see a soft glowing light.
This reminds me of the inappropriate stories my nanny told me about dark rituals in the American Southeast.
Harold, you, like, as you're walking down, your mind kind of breaks a little bit. And instead of seeing darkness, now you see everything.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Never good.
It's like the stories that I heard as a child.
In the pit, you see this glowing warm light, like a really big glowing warm light all around this chamber. Like, you can see that this chamber is several hundred yards wide and continues on down the passage, like for as far as you can see. It seems like miles down this passageway. And along those walls, you see smaller glowing lights. But more than that, it almost seems as if you can see through the planet itself. Like, you look up and you can see the stars in the sky, as they would see as if there were no mountain above you. When you look down, you can see stars through the planet. You can also see lights and other glowing warm lights like the ones you're seeing here inside the planet. Like, your mind is struggling to understand this. So make a 1d6, you already did your sand roll. You succeeded. So do a 1d4, and James Higgins and Dr. McTarnahan, you both take 1 sand loss.
All right.
Was I supposed to roll sanity?
No, you just feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
These guys are having
I will
a
start
metaphysical
exclaiming that I see it all, and it's so
I
beautiful.
see everything.
Does he see the yellow light of Carcosa, and does that invite the king into this area?
You know, he might. We'll ignore that. For now.
We'll put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Start having him acting out the play.
Well, not quite yet. He succeeded in his sand check.
I think the gist is it's a mask party and we all take our masks off, and the hosts, they're waiting for him to take his mask off.
But it's not.
But it's
a
been
mask.
off the whole time.
It's like laying outside at night. All the
But yeah,
stars, so beautiful.
It almost seems as if you are living 2 different existences simultaneously. You have your physical body and you are still walking down the ramp like before, but you're also experiencing something far greater at the same time.
Well, I want to see the stars. I'll put my hand on his shoulder because he's muttering about stars and seeing everything. And I'll ask, Harold, are you okay? What stars? All I see is this.
Oh, could a cult?
What happens when I
maybe,
look at another person? Do I see inside of them too?
Am I just...
It's weird. You can see through them at the same time you see them. Like, it's like several layers of the same image that
like
are
another sense.
all at like a weird transparency
like
layer.
hearing doesn't
You're like a
interfere with
living
vision.
memory.
They happen simultaneously. So he has another vision.
Yeah.
I'm a living memory?
Not
What?
in my case. I have to close
Try
my
to
eyes.
put my hand.
Same.
But like when you look at him, like there is a certain like light that you can see exists where he exists in the same way that you can see all these other lights.
Kind of like a aura or a soul.
Yeah,
essence,
something like that. There's some sort of an essence, but it's very dim compared to like all the rest. And the one at the bottom of this cavern seems to be the brightest, and anywhere nearby.
Because I'm gonna tell him
Don't
that
touch my soul.
your light is so dim. It's like you're already wasting away.
There's no need to get insulting, friend. If you just point out to where the stars are.
As all start pointing all
Brandon's
around.
the dimmest because he failed the POW check.
No,
Okay.
everyone's is all the humans.
I think we're dim relative to this massive light.
Yeah.
I am not dim.
We'll see about that.
brightest
I'll perform. I'll open my third eye physically. I'll
Just reach up and
with a rock. Yeah.
You do that by pouring your booze into your nostrils to get your third eye.
Dude, it will happen. I will have Trey Panning performed on one of my characters, and it will be soon.
All right. So I'm not getting anything from Harold here, so I guess I'll leave him be.
I have never felt so robbed in my life as when Johan didn't get to get his skull carved.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just something that has stuck with me, people. I'm over it now.
Arthur, roll your natural world.
Okay.
And your survival if you fail your natural world.
There's a hard success on natural world.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, you had been previously paying attention to that feeling of the breath, right?
Yeah.
Now, instead of like the wind coming, you just feel a weird pressure change in the same rhythm.
Okay.
Almost as if you were inside the lung of something.
Gotcha.
I forget if he's mentioned the breathing feeling before with the wind, but does the light change with any of this pressure change? Like if it inhales, does it glow brighter or softer?
No,
Okay.
From yours and
Steady.
James's point of view, it stays the same. For Harold Jacobson, you like the lights that line this chasm seem to pulse with that same frequency. Like they slightly shift.
For some reason, I'm getting all
like
the colors of the
They
wind
power
vibe.
its lungs.
I really want. I want like old Disney to make a Call of Cthulhu cartoon now.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
Well, where's the closest light along the wall?
If you go off the path on one of these terraces, it has those alcoves along the way, and you see about 30 feet off of the path on either side. The lights start being inside what you would see those alcoves as.
I want to head off over there, and if I can actually speak it, start speaking in Hopi to ask it to come out.
All right, so to the rest of you, Harold Jacobson's talking about seeing the stars, and then he just breaks off and starts walking off on one of these terraces.
And we don't see light. We only see the big light.
Yeah, only
in the
you.
center.
Yeah, and
we
you
don't
two
see the
only see
side.
that. And Arthur, you don't see anything that your torchlight isn't
Right.
showing.
Oh, where you running off to, boy? We got to stick together. Dang.
Yeah,
I'll just. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask him where he's going.
Because the lights, they're in the.
They're only one
alcoves.
light. There's only one light in
I
this
don't know
cavern.
how
and
you
I'll-
can't see this.
Well, I'll follow him.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, so you walk along this terrace, and he follows it around, and it goes straight for a little while, but then it starts to curve a little bit as if it's following the same direction as the rest of the cave. And where it starts to curve, you start to see these mounds inside those alcoves that just fully cover the alcoves.
Okay.
And with the pressure that builds and releases with that breathing feeling, you see them move out and then push back into the alcove. And then
okay.
go out and push back into the alcove. Everyone roll a spot hidden check. And for Harold, as you approach this thing, something rings out in your mind that it's not really in any language, but you immediately understand it. It just says, "Welcome. Are you here to join the One Heart?"
Yes. If I can be part of this beautiful experience, I will.
So yeah, Arthur, you recognize that whatever's in this alcove is actually the back plating of one of those lizard-like creatures that you had seen in your dream get birthed, and it's just slowly stretching its way out and then laying back in. And as it does that, you can feel that pressure build. And like as you're looking, you see the one immediately, but as you shine your flashlight further around, you see just rows of these things.
Okay.
And all of them are doing it in the exact same pattern.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so I'll point that out to everybody.
and Harold, you're seeing this slightly differently. These things, like you see them in their form, but you also see them as the human lights that you see in Dr. McTarnahan and Arthur and James Higgins. Like you see a soul inside these things that like their lights don't just like they don't move in time. Their lights also like pulse in time. And yeah, you sense that there's constant communication being sent throughout all of these things, but you're just barely beginning to tap into a little bit of it. Like you can sense this oneness that they all share.
As I'll say out loud, is what is the one heart?
They say, well, there is only ever one heart, the heart of Yudra.
I'm sorry, the heart of what?
The heart of Yudra.
Yudra? Do
Yudra.
I recognize that?
No, you don't know what that is. But although you get this sense with it that that's what that glow is at the bottom of this pit, and that's what binds them all together. Like it's hard to explain, but yeah, when the sense hits you, it's a sense of everything that joins everything.
You said Yidra, right?
Yep.
All right, is Yidra down below?
Well, Yidra is everywhere, but part of her focus is down below.
And only he's hearing this?
Yeah, although he is.
I'm speaking out loud, though.
Yeah, he's speaking
He's
out
like,
loud.
Pardon? Did
So-
you say Yidra? So do we make anything of that?
Yeah, James Higgins, roll your occult.
Roll the cult. Regular success.
So yeah, you had previously heard of mention of the Dream Witch,
Right.
right? This between that and the name, it sparks in your memory those cults that you had run across in the South that had worshipped the Dream Witch, and Yidra, is an occult elder god that has existed since the Earth began, since before like organisms began to form inside the sludge of the planet. And she has been working to perfect herself and those that choose to follow her in their form for whatever
Right.
the Earth is at that time.
Okay. Yeah, so I think he's speaking to the Dream Witch that I mentioned earlier, Yidra. It's sort of a monistic take on existence. All is one is all. That's what I've read, anyways. Certain other occultists or occult practitioners in the southeastern United States worshipped a similar figure.
And Harold, with your extreme spot hidden, you see, like, it's hard to tell, but with the how brilliant the light is at the bottom of the cave, but you see two other lesser lights right next to it, with another light that is quite a bit brighter than the other lights in the room, standing between them. And this thing resonates in your mind. Join your brothers below if you wish to become a part of the One Heart.
Thank you, guys. I wish to be part of you soon.
After I finish my natural human existence.
And I'll start making my way down, and I'll exclaim excitedly that I found them, Kincaid and what was his name? I've already
Sterling.
forgotten. Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling.
They're down below. Come on, we've got to go get them.
Wait, who are you talking to, man? Slow down.
No time to explain.
How did you find them? Where are they? Who are you talking to?
And I'll just point through what I'm assuming is that ledge to to the location of those lights. Like they're right there. You can't see. Why don't you see the lights?
No, I don't. There aren't any lights down there.
No, there is a light down there. I see it.
Oh,
We see
is
the
there?
one light. Yeah.
You don't.
You don't
I
see the
don't.
Oh,
light.
you don't?
Okay.
Yeah. He
Yes,
didn't
I do
hit
see a
his
light.
power roll.
I can agree on that much, but only one.
I don't know if I'm much in agreement with anything our friend here is saying, just
Perhaps,
because he's seems
You've
to
all
have
got
lost
to
his
open
mind.
your eyes, and I'll
A
pull
sedative
my
would
knife
be in
out.
order, good doctor.
Oh, that's right. I have a gun. I can trepan myself right here.
That's
all-
extreme trepanning.
Ah, my brain literally goes everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
As
The
we've
oneness.
we do need to go down.
I don't think that's advisable, Harold.
I'm beginning to think we call it lost and cut all our ties and get back to civilization, gentlemen.
So
Well, whatever comfort this
idea-
cave has given us is to be some sort of falseness to it.
is there? Well, we can't just leave them there. As Arthur pointed out earlier, we can't just leave. They're right there. They're so close. Don't you want to get them and go?
Yeah, well, I do, because I have not yet. My past has not been filled with a regret that I can't overcome, like you could, Doctor. So I'm still young and like, oh, we can save stuff.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that angle. Yeah, you know. Sometimes, Tree, you gotta know who to put down.
Doctor,
And move
you
on.
can always wait in the other room, the rebirthing room, if you'd like. But I feel that you'd be much safer with us.
I feel the opposite of with him.
I'm also unsettled by Harold,
I agree that I
and
might
I'm
be.
the occultist.
Yeah, I might be safer with the other two, but not him. I think I will cave once again to peer pressure
Okay.
and stick with the group for now, but I am very much thinking about Bolton.
All right. One thing, Arthur, roll your natural world, and do your survival as well. Nope. Okay.
So are we going to have to?
You are like passing everything to survive your sanity, like preserve your sanity. Every roll that you need to fail in order to not take hits.
Well, that's because he started doing the Lord's Prayer or something over
Yeah.
again a while back. His
Stealing
mind
his
was focused.
mind, yeah.
yeah.
So So are we going to have to sort of climb down, get a rope out and climb down?
No, you can get back to the original path if you'd like, and it does head towards that light.
Oh, okay.
Like that, like it declines. You can estimate that it must bottom out somewhere or come back up in order to get to that light. But yeah, it's still a little ways below you on that same trajectory.
Well, yes. Let us retrieve our companions, and then perhaps we can regroup and figure how best to proceed.
All right. If you insist they're down there, I'll follow.
Yeah, I'm gonna start heading down there, walking with the confidence of somebody who can see everything.
Well, given that we knew what was to be in this cave based off a shared dream, I must give some credence to Harold's idea that they're down there.
Yeah. So
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean,
one thing that's a little bit weird to you is Harold's like walking off into the darkness. He's not bothering with his light anymore.
That's one thing that's a little weird.
Like, but yeah, he walks off into the darkness like he can see perfectly clear.
Harold, I think we need to strike back this way to reach the light at the bottom.
It's fine. I can see clearly exactly the
And Harold,
path
you,
that
you
we
were
need to
walking
go.
along. You were walking along the ledge to head back down the
Yeah.
path.
Yeah,
So-
I'm heading back towards the path so that we can head down.
It's
He
just
just
right up
basically disappears.
Into
Yeah, he just
the edge of
walks
the
off
flashlight.
into the darkness. Yeah.
What a weirdo.
yeah,
But I'll
I'll
still call back. Come on, guys, we're
Are
almost
you
there.
coming?
I'll try to catch their eyes, and when I do, I'll just like shake my head.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree a bit.
yeah.
I'm dumb and curious, so away we go. Whee!
That's how you get regrets at college. That's how you die out in the world, boy.
So, yeah, I'll follow him. I think, although I'm kind of tied to Arthur, since I believed he had our torch.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Follow along.
All right, so yeah, you head back and start heading down, and those of you that can see the light, the path goes down and then it levels off at the level where that light is, and it's about another 100 yards after it levels off before the light. As you approach it, it's almost painful to your eyes to look directly at it, but it's still like a comforting light.
Very godlike.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to you that.
Are we able to make out any sort of substance or whatever it seems to be giving off the light, or does it just look like the rock down there?
Well, like in the distance, all it seems like is light.
So it would just be nothing we could make out because it's
Yeah.
the bright point of the light.
Yeah, and it doesn't illuminate anything around it.
Hmm.
So, like, that's the only thing you see is just the light.
Light without illumination,
Yeah.
thunder without sound.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll keep following him. Hopefully, whatever bad happens to him, and I can run away.
So yeah, you catch up to Harold, and Arthur he's got his electric torch eye. He's looking ahead, and as it levels out and his torch comes up level, you can see 3 figures ahead, standing in front of this light. Well, the light that you guys can see. Arthur, all you see is this big monolithic stone, what looks almost like an egg, sitting in the middle of this thing, kind of on a platform.
Okay.
And yeah, you see 3 human figures standing in front of it.
So is it just Arthur that sees the egg, but we all see the figures, or
You can all see the egg, and this is where it gets a little bit weird for you. That see
Dual,
well, yeah, you see the light inside the rock.
okay?
Now that's what Higgins is, or not Higgins.
Harold.
Harold Jacobson has been experiencing the whole, like, with everything. But yeah, for you get this subtle sense of you see the light inside the rock, but you also see the rock that should be shielding that light from coming out.
Do I recognize any of the human figures?
Yeah, immediately. The 2 characters on either side are actually kneeling in front of this rock, and then you see the back, and you can assume that it is the same Hopi woman that you saw at the end of your dream.
In the dream, okay.
Yeah.
Look, they're about to join the One Heart. Come on, guys. Let's join them.
What is the One Heart? Does anybody know what the One Heart is?
Well, I'll take another crack at it. You could just think that everything is one, right? It would be a return to the stuff that creates everything is the gist. Right?
What, you mean God?
Well,
Yeah, but God isn't, at least he isn't a monistic figure, right?
You better watch
God-
your mouth, son.
God
From,
and creation are separate. That at least has been my scholarly understanding of it. I could, of
This
course,
is
be
not
wrong.
the sort of place you want to be uttering blasphemy in.
I'm just saying that certain people.
There's only one
believe
God, sir.
That they are.
remember, Harold Jacobson had also gone into the Hopi legend last time about how originally
There were
There
one
were-
heart and 2 heart people.
Yeah, and the 2 heart people were sent to the surface, and they became what is now the Hopi Indian people.
Well, look, I have a lot of respect for the Hopi, but, they got backwards ideas. So,
Well, then you won't be wanting to join the one heart, I should think. Nor am I precisely ready to. Harold, why should we do this?
yeah, snap out of it, Harold.
I suggest a good old prescribed medicinal slap.
1920 slap.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it might come to that.
1910s.
But so far, it's all weird. I haven't seen anything like dangerous besides a big giant egg and people talking weird.
A giant egg full of light.
Yeah. I don't see any light. I don't know why you guys keep talking about light.
Is the Hopi woman talking to them at all? Or is there
No,
any
she's
other sub-communication going on?
You can't sense any subcommunication or hear any talking. But when that thing had reached out to you before, you could tell that it had been specifically directed to you, and you kind of anticipate that's how it has to work. Is it has to be directed at you in order for you to be able to receive it.
I don't believe that. I'm going to try and focus on their conversation.
All right, roll a power check. All right, so you can't hear their conversation, but yeah, you can sense that there is something being passed between them. But not just between them and this Hopi woman, but the egg as well.
As they're speaking to Idra.
I say we grab them and get out of here.
Yeah, like I'd like to go up and see if I can talk to Kincaid or Sterling. Say, hey, first of all, not cool coming here on your own, but also.
So yeah, as you approach, this Hopi woman turns around and looks at you and says, "Have you come to join as well?"
No, ma'am.
Then you must be here to see your friends off to their destination.
I'm here to see my friends off out of here.
Well, they've chosen a different path now.
Well, what path are you talking about? How does this all work? What's going on down here?
I'd assumed you were more pilgrims. I know that Kincaid here was once a misbeliever, but he's since realized the error of his ways, and he has decided to become a part of Yidra.
Pardon me, ma'am, but I do know Sterling quite well, and he's a man of science and rationality, and I do not understand how he would have made that decision over the course of one night, unless he was under duress.
Often troubling for those that have not yet made the connection to Yidra to understand what she gives, and that what you sacrifice is so little in comparison.
How does one make a connection with Yidra?
Well, she has reached out to all of you. You felt her last night, did you not?
I had a dream. I do not know if that is being touched by Yidra. I have many dreams.
Yes, that's how she reaches out to all of her would-be disciples.
Well, I guess I'll frown and be quiet for a minute, see if anybody else has anything to add or ask.
I will ask how I join, because I've received her message, and I'll look around and say, and it's so wonderful. How do I become part of this?
You, if you wish to join us, then we will prepare for you as well. And she starts to walk around to the side of this egg thing, and off on one side there is an altar that has just row after row of those golden cups on one side, and she picks one up and she comes to you with it, and she says, "You must fill this with your own blood and offer it up to Yidra, that you may become a part of her, and then she will let you become a part of us."
So, since this is like early 1920s and the gold rush wasn't that long ago, is there like a greed check that I could make? Just so fill this with my blood and then offer it to the light. I mean, that sounds like a pretty fair trade.
Yeah, and you see that Kincaid and Williams each have a chalice in their hands that looks like the inside of it is coated with blood, but is now empty.
Do I see anywhere like where they had gotten the blood from?
You see a slit along one wrist. It's since stopped bleeding, which is kind of strange. Like the kind. Well, actually, everyone do a spot hidden.
Oh no!
Nice.
Fail.
All right. So Harold Jacobson, you're on a roll right now. But Doctor, you see these wounds on their wrists, and you would expect them to be pulsing blood right now, but instead you see a little bit of calcification along the wounds, almost as if they had reacted by starting to form one of those shells that has just sealed up the wound.
You gonna turn in? You do that what's his name? Jacobson?
Yeah, Jacobson.
You do that, Jacobson, you're going to end up like one of them creatures.
And she says, yes, that is the perfected form for this era.
I wouldn't know about that. I say I'm pretty much my perfect form, but
But yeah, she hands you the golden chalice, Harold, and then she walks to the other side of the egg, and there's another dais there that has the canopic jars. And she brings one back, and you recognize that at the bottom of the egg there are two of these canopic jars out in front of where Williams and Kincaid are kneeling. So they've got the golden cups in their hands. They're kneeling on the ground, and in front of them, right underneath the egg, are these canopic jars, and the top is off of them, and it looks like something is dripping from the egg down into them.
mm.
All right. So having read and re-listened to a lot of these books, I notice that things can get pretty crazy pretty quick. So I'm gonna take my machete out and chop my hand off to fill the chalice.
That is getting pretty crazy pretty quick. Yeah, so like this whole sense of being part of something else has lessened your connection to your own physical body, and so yeah, you just chop off you chop off your left hand, and yeah, the blood starts gushing out.
I'm going to react automatically.
Dear God in heaven.
I'm going to try to tourniquet the arm. I'm going to try to staunch this against his will if need be.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say that, like, I'm a doctor. Like, someone just lopped off their freaking hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So I don't know what you want.
Harold, put down the knife,
Yeah,
buddy.
well, grab him. We need to.
I'll try
cut
to-
that
As
blood
soon
flow.
as it chops
I'll try to
off,
help.
I will drop the machete so I can grab the chalice to try and fill it.
Yeah, so he grabs the chalice, and the blood is just pouring into this thing. And yeah, you both like immediately jump to try and stop him.
Yeah, I'll help too when the
So
doctor
like
calls.
brawls from these two.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, let's do opposed strength checks.
Yeah, I'll.
You want mine to be at a penalty?
Because you only got one arm.
Well,
or
one
hand
arm,
now.
like
Yeah.
probably a good
Okay.
amount of blood loss already, and there's 3 of you.
Actually, no, do it normal.
We're coming in adrenalized.
All right. So yeah, you two grab him and manage to pull his hands apart and restrain him from making any more motion. And doctor, you run up to
Yeah, I'll take my belt off and try to.
yeah. But immediately upon the blood reaching the top of the chalice, a calcification starts to form over the wound,
It's too late.
and the bleeding starts to stop.
Yeah, I'll.
So-
I'll kind of stare at it for a second, and I'll let the belt kind of fall away from his arm. I'll be like,
Yeah.
"It's already in him, boys."
And you two, like you're holding him and you're struggling. This blood should be sloshing everywhere.
But it's all
But
going.
yeah, it's sitting almost as if it has solidified in there. Like it still ripples like liquid, but no matter how much you jostle it, it doesn't spill out. It's like it's contained in there.
He's done for, folks. I say we're gonna be done soon if we don't get out of here like I wanted from the beginning.
Well, I think I'm leaning towards the doctor's.
You've convinced
actually-
me.
You three make a sanity check at watching this happen as well. Doctor, you can have a bonus die on this.
There it is.
Success.
Oh, fails around. Dang.
So
Okay.
yeah, you failed on it. So yeah, you take 1d3 points of sanity loss from seeing this self-mutilation.
But anyway, I'll agree with the doctor and say, yeah, that's enough for me. I'm getting out of here.
And yeah, the Hopi woman comes up and hands him a canopic jar very calmly, as if nothing strange has happened yet. And she says, "Do you not wish to say farewell to your friends before they join us?"
I absolutely do not. And I'll just turn and start leaving. Like, I won't turn. I'll start backing away.
Yeah, I'll just keep pace with him.
Yeah, and Harold, you have this canopic jar, and part of the egg kind of opens up a little bit in between where Williams and Kincaid are kneeling in front of this thing, and you just kind of you get the sense that that's where you pour your blood.
Yeah, I'll gladfully complete the ritual.
Okay, and yeah, when you pour it in there, you suddenly get this contact from this egg, and you get this voice that says, "Thank you for your contribution. We will purify your sample and return it to you so that you may join us in full unity."
Please hold.
Yeah.
And so you also get the inclination to place the canopic jar underneath another location that you can see.
Yeah, I'll place it under there, and then if no more instructions are forthcoming, I'll kneel beside Kincaid and
Sterling.
Sterling, there it is.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the Hopi woman is looking at Arthur. He says, "Why are you so upset? Your friends have chosen this path. There is nothing wrong with it, and perhaps one day you too will come and join us."
Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to happen. But I'll just keep backing away.
And she's just walking very slowly along with you. And she says, "Please, I don't believe you fully understand. Many come here without fully understanding what is being given. Please, stay. Let us stay with your friends until they are done, so that you may see that they still exist and they still live, but just in a higher state of existence."
No, ma'am. I'm leaving now. Don't try and stop me.
Yes, I mean no offense, but it is not clear that a choice has been made by our companions. I do not see that they are in their right mind and therefore cannot make a choice.
The man hacked off his own dang hand. And
Right.
He is definitely not in his right mind.
Yes.
I understand that this all seems strange to you, but a higher state of consciousness opens up new possibilities. And as you yourself have seen, his harm is being repaired
I'm
by
about
Idra.
to enter you into a higher state of consciousness. Go back to your ritual and let us depart.
She says, please.
I will rack the shotgun.
No, do not do that, Doctor. If it is indeed the Dream Witch, she could not be harmed anyways. Don't anger her.
She says, there's...
I'm open to that that possibility that he just stated. So
Don't be.
Let's just keep backing away slowly.
She's just watching you all very calmly. She says, "I understand you are upset. Many become upset when they see this, and we do not wish you any harm."
I'll lean over to oh dang, what's your name, Brandon?
Arthur.
I'll lean over to Arthur and go, perhaps we can speed this departure up.
Yeah, it's time to move a little faster, gentlemen. Yeah, that's what I want to do is turn and start running.
Yeah, I'll try to keep pace with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm forced to because he's got the light, so don't leave me.
All right, so
What is it like?
Guess my dad was right.
Dex.
I should have been an accountant.
I'll keep pace with Arthur. Or?
yeah, what is it for running?
Well, I think you use Constitution to determine your speed, right?
Okay.
Like how long you can maintain it.
So yeah, in everyone make Constitution checks.
Oh, nice! I fail. I'm gonna run out of breath here.
So Harold, you're like, as you kneel down in front of it, you start getting that sense of everything around you. You start feeling more connected to all of it. You can start communicating with all these different people that have transcended to this new existence, and they're all communicating with you. And as you're kneeling there, you're getting the life stories and the entire existence of some of these things. And it's not just humans that you're sensing. You're sensing some sort of lizard people that had existed before humans ever existed. You're experiencing creatures that would be considered monsters today that have long since died out. I mean, these creatures have existed since the beginning of time, and you get all of their experiences pouring into you, and it's overwhelming. But at the same time, your story is being shared with all of them, and it's all kind of coalescing into one consciousness.
This is the family that I've always sought, could never find.
So when the rest of you turn to run, you get this, like, there is suddenly the sound of what seems like a downpour.
Water, yeah.
Yeah, that dripping sound that you had heard from those creatures before, one at a time,
Oh, yeah.
is now like a sudden cloudburst downpour, echoing through this room. Like you can, like it's just echoing as if there's a waterfall.
Yeah.
This is not lending credence to your claim that this is voluntary.
So, we got our Constitution check. So, Arthur, you turn and start booking it, and Higgins, you're right beside him, but the good doctor is struggling to keep up. He is.
I like to say that I keep with him for a good sprint, but that's smoking.
Yeah.
Especially uphill. I'd say probably about,
10
man.
feet.
Yeah, uphill ain't gonna.
Well, if I see him lagging, I will definitely stop and try to help him in whatever way I can.
No, boy, don't be an idiot. Keep running.
Nonsense, doctor. We'll get you out of here. Arthur, slow down a bit.
I will. I'll stop and turn and point the flashlight so he can help him.
Yeah, it's hard to hear each other at this point now because this sound is starting to overwhelm you, and that breathing sense is gone. So suddenly the air is perfectly still around you as well.
Little
Which
sonar pings.
yeah, and actually with that sound, everyone make a sanity check.
This might do it for me.
Oh, God, extreme.
All right, so those of you that got extreme, take 1. Doctor, take 1d3.
All right, if this is a 3, it will be a temporary bout, I believe.
Okay.
It's what I think I had it figured out. It's 1.
1. All right. So yeah, your sanity's holding on, but by a thread.
Yeah, I think I'll be like entering the like the state of panic where you are losing like control type of thing. Like just that, like I'm running for my life now. It's not just normal panic,
Okay.
because I do believe that there's different stages of panic,
Uh-huh.
and I think I'm entering the later tiers.
So all of you are terrified by this, but the doctor, he's starting to like scramble on all 4 going up this ramp. Like he's
Maybe even hyperventilating.
Yeah.
Which isn't helping my problem.
He thinks he's really booking it, but
Yeah.
it's like when we were running on the track and we'd come around the bends where John was at the outside. He's like, God, I can't keep pace with you.
Feel slow.
Yeah. But I'm like, oh, keep it up, good doctor.
So actually, we're going to play a little bit into Harold's choice. As he's kneeling there, he gets this overwhelming sense of goodness, of health and vitality in him. And he looks down and his hand is actually regrown exactly as it was before, although it still has a little bit of almost like a calcified crust on it. But he gets this sense that he must reach you and stop you from leaving. Convince you that
So we can choose the correct choice.
and
It's obvious you didn't choose the right thing.
yeah, when you
We have pancakes. Read this pamphlet.
you get this sense that only you can convince them, and you're basically sent to go and speak to them.
All right,
And
you guys know what's coming then. Terminator 2 run.
Yeah. So yeah, when you run, your body has a strength that you've never experienced before. Like, you were always a pretty strong guy and pretty healthy, but yeah, out of nowhere, you feel a level of vitality that you've never experienced.
Like when you're a child.
Yeah, it's like you have the endurance and that just inability to feel tiredness of like a small child, but you're moving with the strength of two men. And so, yeah, you can go tearing off up after him.
Yeah, I'll
Does
gladly.
Arthur see him? Because he'd be looking back our way.
At first, no, but when like you start scrambling and are struggling to keep up, yeah, your flashlight flashes across and yeah, you see Harold's face coming up at you.
What's the expression
Just smiling
on his face?
like a biggest grin with the widest, scariest eyes you've ever seen.
Oh, run! Here he comes! Run!
I'll quickly look behind
He's
me.
coming.
Do I get a second wind or?
Yeah, we'll do another Constitution roll.
Please. Oh no!
No, yeah, you're trying, but yeah, your lungs are just, that feeling when your body just absolutely betrays you, and like your spirit is so intent on doing something, but you're just the flesh can't.
Can I push stat rolls?
I don't believe so.
Would you let me if the consequence is a heart attack?
There's a heart attack, and I'll roll him back down the hill to join the one heart.
Where it's 24 or 14 luck.
Do a sanity check.
Mm,
All right, so you failed it. Good. Yes, I'll give you. I'll let you push it.
all right.
So yeah, absolute terror is now entering your mind, and you have lost all sense of coherence.
Here we go. Bam. Ah.
All right, so
Always
yeah,
push.
yeah, Harold or Dr. McTarnahan just out of like he sees the face and yeah, he's now like whimpering and screaming as he goes just tearing past you two.
Yeah, I'll abandon all sense of like safety now. I'll go tearing headlong into the.
So yeah, he's now moving so fast that he passes you and is now running into sheer darkness.
Wait. You need light. Yeah, so I'll
Try to keep up.
try to keep up. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you two, make a Constitution roll. See if you can get a hard success and keep up with him.
Just regular for me.
Stream.
Nice.
So yeah, Higgins, you're running but you hadn't seen
That look.
Harold Jacobson coming up at you. But yeah,
Don't have my
Arthur
wings of
and
fear yet.
Arthur and Dr. McTarnahan, fear has spurred them on, and they are running faster than they have ever run before, and they're starting to leave you behind.
Right.
All
And
the
yeah,
while you hear the footfalls behind you.
Along with that crashing sound of falling water, and before you know it, you feel a hand on your shoulder,
Okay.
Higgins,
like you're running and.
Join the family, Higgins.
Well, that sounded pretty reasonable. But I probably will cry out because, like we've mentioned, I haven't actually seen his pursuit yet. So, yeah, I'll cry out at the hand, turn around. He says, Higgins, wait. And I'm like, Harold, we can't. We must go.
Yes, we must. Help me go,
And
and I'll
Harold,
try to
all of
guide
us-
him back around to down below.
Harold,
Wrong
all of a
way.
sudden you sense and you understand that he's always had a mild obsession with the occult and those kinds of things.
Oh,
and
try,
so all of a
like
sudden,
persuasion, maybe.
yeah, you can do a persuade or
It's not a very good one, but
Does Travis's character hear the tinge of madness in his persuasion?
can I do something a little different than persuasion? Can I try and tie this back into the occult through like my Hopi storytelling to persuade
Sure.
him to come back?
All the questions
Yeah.
you've ever had can be answered.
So yeah, he reaches into his memories of the storytelling and how you had eagerly listened to many of the stories of their old religion and Hopi traditions and things like that. And yeah, he reaches out to you, Harold, if you want to.
Do what? Just respond to him?
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think.
So yeah, he's trying to say
There's so many older things in there. There's stories you wouldn't believe them. I've heard them.
Yes, Harold, I understand, and I do want to understand this, but I
Also-
don't think this is the way.
Also, remember the face he's making that is now being plunged ever quicker and quicker into darkness as
Yeah.
we pull
Yeah, so,
further
yeah.
away.
I've followed
is-
many threads, many stories, and I've seen this sort of thing before, although not quite like this. But what I mean is I've seen how you are behaving, and this is not rational. You have not made a choice. You've
But
been
I
tricked
have.
somehow.
Is you wouldn't understand the loss and pain that I felt ever since my family was taken from me. Is
There's
that
probably no
for so
ability
long
from-
I've only wanted to belong, to have others around me that cared. Now I have that.
And you can have it too.
As even if you don't want it for the same reasons, as from a researcher standpoint, an adventurer standpoint, as think of it, you'll be the only one with this story, and who knows? They've let me get this far.
Yes, but I have oaths, commitments to my life that I'll not just get rid of for the chance to become one with something that I don't fully understand.
As I
So,
can help
please,
you
Harold.
understand it.
Well, then do that in a calm, say, a library or a coffee shop where we can discuss it as rational men do. I am obsessed. I want to believe these things, but I have been led astray too many times, and I have seen a tinge of irrationality amongst people who are too invested in this sort of thing.
Like lopping someone's
Are you
hand
saying
off.
Yes.
that Dr. Sterling is, or whatever, yeah, Professor Sterling?
I do not.
What is he?
I do not believe he would have made that choice.
Is
based
you
off of
you
what I have
can
seen.
only join if you've offered it willingly. Are you saying that he was less skeptical than you?
I'm saying he wasn't willing, and nor are you, Harold.
Do
Alright,
I
so we're
get
gonna
the sense that if I take him against his will, that it would be a bad thing?
Yeah. The sense that you get from this collective is that it must be entered into willingly, and that there is no way to force someone.
Okay.
And in fact, you have the impression of like the memory of that corpse that you had found,
Yeah.
that he had come as a willing parishioner, but when he saw what had become of a companion of his that had also come with, extreme cancer, he attacked the Hopi woman, the priestess, and one of the creatures brained him in order to stop the attack. And he had been dragged out. He was being dragged out to be dropped off at the Colorado River as someone who had gotten lost and injured. To be found is pretty common.
All right. So yeah, I'll use that as part of the explanation as well. Is that not the story of him getting brained and refusing to join, more the part of you. It only happens through willingness. Is that there's no way to force you to give up your blood willingly like that.
So
You
we're
have to
gonna
want it.
pause with you guys with one last statement that, like, by now Arthur and Dr. McTarnahan are well past you, and even though their light is gone, you can still somehow see Harold Jacobson clear as day. Like, you can't really see much else around you, but yeah, you can see him just fine, almost as if he is alone, illuminated to your eyes, and everything else is gone. You can still feel the stone under your feet. You can still hear everything going on around you, but yeah, you can see him clearly. For Dr. McTarnahan and Arthur Johansson, you two are now, you've reached the top and you've fled through that chamber, and you can hear that sound of rushing water behind you. And when you flash look over your shoulder and flash the flashlight behind you, this Hopi woman is right behind you. She seems to be stepping like normal steps, but she traverses more ground than she should. And all the while, the walls and the ceiling are just writhing as these things are swarming down this tunnel around you.
Okay. So how is the doctor doing?
You can hear his wheezing breaths, but he doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. Like, you've seen people under great duress perform, acts that should have not been humanly possible for him, and he seems to be in the grip of something like that.
I should have reversed it and said if I succeed, I'll have a heart attack. I think when I pushed
Well,
it.
you still might.
Yeah.
You get to the end of the run.
And what point have we reached now?
You're almost back to that central room with the statue.
With the statue, okay. Yeah. And from that room to the exit was a mile.
Yeah, it was a mile.
Yeah, so I don't.
The good doctor will slow at some point.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it.
Okay.
So I'll
turn
stop
around and come back
and confront the Hopi woman, and I'll just raise up my hands and say, "Listen, please, I don't want any part of what you've got going here. We just want to leave. Just want to leave you in peace."
So yeah, the doctor, he hits the room, and in the light that your torch gives you, he sees his stone and starts tearing off down that route. And these things are still following him out there, but she stops, and these things just go floating past you like you're not even there. And she says, "It is your right to leave, though I must tell you that you cannot speak of what you have found here.
Oh,
Good luck.
trust me, ma'am.
We will not allow our faith to be corrupted by the non-believers."
Yeah, no, you can trust me. I'll never utter a single word of this for as long as I live. Nobody would believe me anyway.
Ah, very well. Yes. Just like Kincaid had done before, he eventually returned to us, and I believe you shall as well. Go in peace. I wish that you would stay and wish your friends farewell, but if you must go, then you must go. But do leave in peace.
Yes, I will leave in peace. Yeah, no, I will. I'll turn around and leave. I'll try and catch up.
So yeah, Doctor, roll another Constitution check.
Under your breath, you're like, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live."
All right. So yeah, you get a few hundred yards down that chasm, and seeing that pinprick of light at the far end that is the exit, your fear and panic starts to subside just enough that you don't have that adrenaline keeping you going, and you just full on collapse to the ground. And before you know it, this chasm is just filled with those things lining the walls, the ceilings. They're just there. They're not grabbing at you. They're not doing anything. They're just there. You can hear that dripping water sound, though. It's just rippling through.
Then I guess I'll kind of use the shotgun as a cane and kind of just start, making my way. I'm not stopping. I still think well, probably not under the effects of an insane type thing, that this is just no territory. Just nope.
Yeah.
He's done. If they try to grab me or anything, I think he'll start shooting. But other than that, as long as they kind of just let me kind of keep going, I'm just going to keep going, and probably even trying my best to ignore that they're even there.
All right. Do one power roll.
Power.
Ooh, you succeeded. So yeah, as you're leaving, you begin to hear or sense voices begging you to stay, telling you that it's all right. It's okay. We will not harm you. You are free to leave, but You
Your
should
heart
stay.
is failing.
Yes, you're not a well man. Leave your troubles behind. All those that have died, you never have to witness that again. So do a sanity check with that. All right. So yeah, 1d3.
Yep, I'll do it. I'm insane
Yeah.
temporarily.
So yeah, roll on your that sanity, the real time sanity roll. Paranoia. Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I'm already paranoid. Do you want me to roll again?
Yeah, go ahead, roll again.
Faint.
No.
So yeah, you're going along, and then just the exhaustion, and you've just pushed yourself too far, and you collapse to the ground.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing the ER like bay where all the people were brought in,
Yeah,
and they're all telling me to stay.
nice. Yeah.
Stay.
All right, so yeah, you just slip into unconsciousness. You're trying to drag yourself along using the gun.
Yeah,
as a
and then
kid,
it just
you just
goes out.
Yeah,
Mm.
you just fall, and that pinprick of light that was your salvation just winks out. So Arthur, okay, so we'll go back to Harold Jacobson and James Higgins.
Yeah, so my position here is, since I didn't see things the way that Harold had, that it's not that I'm skeptical of what I have seen, but I'm skeptical of the message based off of what I know of Sterling. And so I'm still of a mind to leave. However, he did have that Hopi storytelling roll success. However, I haven't resisted it or anything like that. So I can stick with my...
Yeah, that was just to kind of
Yeah.
help you along. Like
Yeah.
he did touch a nerve with
Right.
his.
Or, I mean, what I'm saying is I could do like a power roll or something to determine, because I could play it either way, like his point gets across or not.
So yeah, roll a power roll. See if during this if you connect. So yeah,
You see it now.
as you're
don't you?
talking, you begin to connect in the same way that he had, where yeah, your mind begins to open up and you begin to see all of this, and like instead of the lights being around the room, now they're like swarming up the passages, but yeah, you can still see Yigra, or what was her name, Yidra, down below. The light inside her cocoon, and yeah, you see that the light inside Harold as well as Kincaid and Williams is brighter than the two lights for Arthur and Dr.
Right.
McTarnahan, and yeah, this experience, like your mind is opening up to this experience, and
Oh, okay.
so yeah, all of a sudden, yeah, you're starting to understand what he had been talking about. Everything that he had mentioned about the lights and the stars and everything is starting to click in your mind. You
Yes.
can still decide to resist if you want, but yeah, this is an experience that is
Once in a lifetime.
eye opening,
This
mind
is
opening.
a perfect experience.
Yeah, I think, previously I was kind of sheltered by being a man in his 20s.
Yeah,
So the idea of giving up your identity and joining the oneness is like, that's dumb. I'm going to make everything subservient to me.
and you can still play it that way.
But no,
like-
I'm going to see it. I'm going to, oh yes, I think I see.
Being part of something bigger than you are.
But
like yeah, like John kind of played it off that his loss of a family drove him to want to be a part of this, but like you may not have the same motivations,
Right.
or
Mm.
As you think you can control the world with your power, realize that this is a far greater power that you can wield to realize that dream. You'll become part of something greater.
But I'm not
so
certain if-
powerful, no one can stop it.
I wanted that only for myself. I wanted to find the truth of these ancient practices and share them with the world.
As you found one, as you found
For
the
myself?
only true one, a part
And
of
About
yourself.
everyone else.
As
So at
once
this
you
point,
get into the mix, there is no I nor you. We are just we. I am, we are.
as you're continuing to talk, the Hopi priestess comes down. Like you see her light, and she is almost as blinding as the light down below, and she stands with one of you on either side, and she says, "Have you made your decision? I sense your soul is not quite ready to make the transition, but that your mind is open.
Yes, I think I see what you're talking about, and I would like to experience it. But my ultimate reason for that would be to share with others. So you tell me.
A noble pursuit, and we have several that are quite like you that are out in the world sharing this message of unity. You are free to leave and share what you have learned with those that will listen. Your companions are above. I fear that one of them has collapsed, and he may require a little bit of your assistance. But if you choose to leave, you are welcome to leave and return at a later date.
I think that is what I will do.
Very well. Harold, you may join the others below and finish the ritual. Wish your friend farewell.
It
will not be the last time you see him.
Stick my hand out, say, until we meet again, Higgins.
That hand is gross.
This is the rebirth hand. It's got all the rebirth on it.
Yeah, I'll shake it.
And then wipe it off on your subconsciously. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you're going back up the tunnel, yeah, you don't have any light source, but you have
Can
no
see
problem
those
seeing.
lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll make my way to join them again.
Okay. So yeah, as you turn, the priestess and Harold Jacobson walk back down below, and yeah, you start heading up. Arthur, after you leave with your conversation, you don't have to go too far, but the doctor is obviously collapsed on the ground. And as you walk up, you see one of these things like pull him over and kind of cock its head a little bit and listen at him. And then makes like look, well, it doesn't really have eyes, but yeah, its head kind of moves towards you, and you see some ripples go across it, and then it backs away.
Okay. So yeah, I'll dash over then and inspect him and see if he's still breathing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still breathing, but really shallowly, and when you take his pulse is very weak.
Yeah.
it's probably through the roof.
Yeah, like his heart's pumping fast, but yeah, it has the beat of somebody that has pushed themselves way too far.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess I wouldn't be able to do anything for him in here anyway, so I'll pick him up and cart
Get
him
some
out.
fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah. Swing him over my shoulder and.
So yeah, it is about a mile up to the surface from here. So yeah, you're dragging him along, and out of the darkness comes James Higgins, walking as if it's the brightest day outside, and
Unconcerned.
Oh, Higgins, how did you get away?
I chose to leave.
I thought you were a goner for sure.
I tried to convince Harold, but he could not be convinced. It's up to us to tell the world what we found here.
Well, except we can't say a word of it to anybody. But other than that, I agree. It looks like.
Here, let me help you.
Yeah,
I'll help him with Harold or with Doctor
Tarnahan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he collapsed at some point.
he doesn't have a rebirth hand.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah. As you're
Nobody touched
like going
my
to
rebirth
assist him,
hand.
like these things are still on the walls and the ceiling, and one of them, like as you approach, it crawls down onto the path ahead of you, and its blank face is sitting there, and you get the through this weird impression that it's willing to carry the doctor for you.
Oh, okay. Arthur, please lay the doctor down.
Why?
He's turned.
These
You can
Things
sense
are going to help us.
Oh, but can you imagine if he wakes up
That's true.
and these things are...
Well, it's up to you. I know he's only a size 40, but he projects a lot heavier than that.
All right, yeah. Okay. Why not? I have no idea what's going on anyway. So I'll put him down.
Well, because I still have that toe hold and wanting to describe this, so I say I do not know by what sense, but one of these things has communicated that it will carry the doctor for us.
And you see in your flashlight that this thing is just squatted down in the path ahead of you, and it's waiting.
And I have an unspecified reason to believe it will not harm him or us.
Okay.
Yeah, you can roll a survival to see if you believe that it has no intention of harm or anything.
I failed.
Yeah, right.
I'll just spend the luck. That's 1 point.
The 1 point along.
Yeah.
So yeah, just your natural sense. You sense that this thing has no. It's not aggressive in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll set him down then and watch it do whatever.
So yeah, it
Just gonna
comes
mate
over
with
to him and does like this weird thing where it squirms underneath it, and then its two arms along the side of its body reach up and around, and they have 3 joints in them, so it kind of wraps it around his shoulders and arms and stands up on its hind legs and its 2 other remaining arms and begins crawling like
Dear
like it's
God in
completely
heaven, that is weird.
unencumbered. Yeah, but yeah, with that thing carrying it, you can move at
Normal speed.
normal speed up, and within about 15-20 minutes you're at the exit where it lays him down, and then Higgins, you get a sense of farewell as all of these things that had been along with you the entire way, like this is
Recede.
yeah, they just all turn and head back down, and as they go, that sound of downpour recedes with them.
Yeah, I'll just lift a hand in silent farewell until they disappear.
Yeah, so yeah, he's waving goodbye to these things, and
It's more like the, like the fella in The Last Crusade,
oh yeah,
the knight that was just had his hand up, right?
yeah,
More solemn than
1,000-yard stare.
See you guys later.
yeah.
Well, I think we're not going to get paid, gentlemen.
I don't expect so, but we have a lot to write about, that's for sure.
The Hopi woman made it very clear that we were not to mention this to anybody. And if you do, everybody's going to think you're a loon anyway.
I have considered that, but I feel compelled to at least tell my side of it.
Because what's funny here is that she told them one thing in Higgins that he could share.
Well, because I'm going to fail academically, and then what I'm going to do is just
Come back.
tell the lost souls
Yeah,
that come to me and then bring them down here and feed them to the oneness.
Yeah, I kind of got the impression
I'll be a
that
cult leader.
one was more of like religious, like preaching, whereas the other one was don't go saying what you, like location and what you found type of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly the intention, was that they don't want revealing the location, but for Higgins, if he finds people that are willing to become
Yeah. Well, given my experience, it would be an apologist's take on the Hopi legend and my experience, right? So it would put it in the best possible light, I think, is my angle.
But you get out, and it takes another 2 days before the people meet you at the bottom of the Bright Angel Creek, your porters. Doctor, you had collapsed, and you wake up in the camp, a little bit scraped and bumped from being lowered on the rope down a cliff face while you're unconscious, but otherwise in actually fairly good repair.
I don't know, like epilogue time or
yeah.
all right.
One thing for Dr. McTarnahan, this one really, like the end really kind of got into your skull.
I was gonna say, like, he has I was thinking like a phobia of certain types of light.
I was gonna say not just light, but
Sound too.
yeah. Anytime you hear a downpour,
Yeah, okay, I like that.
yeah, you start kind of shaking a little bit, like there's something
Like sounds of dripping water. Or,
deep in your mind that you associate with that. Arthur, you now know that this secondary world lives inside the plateaus of the Grand Canyon, and this is where you've made your livelihood. So it's up to you on how you want to do that. Higgins, one thing, when you reach the bottom of the canyon, the porters they say, I understand that you have made contact with the mother, and we wish you the best in your proselytizing.
Yeah. So,
God,
So-
they're everywhere.
for my vision, that's kind of what I see. I see a few things as us going down on the river with a very clear separation in the boat between these two sitting one way, like looking a little suspicious at me and the porters, especially
Yeah,
if they
probably.
overheard what the porters said.
But I have like a mental image in my head of Dr. Tarnahan like occasionally writing a prescription
Yeah.
that is like that points to this location on like certain patients that he
okay.
feels he can't save. Like he'd never admit it. He probably even has made plans when he eventually gets some sort of terminal diagnosis.
Yeah.
But he'll never speak about it. But occasionally there'll be like a kid with like, severe illness or a person who is really kind and, he feels should kind of get repaired or it's going to be a really horrible death.
Well, you do know Higgins is now a bit of a cult leader for this.
So maybe the prescription points to him.
Yeah, when someone reaches the end of their line, then you can say, well, some people find a solace in spiritual healing, and I actually happen to know of a man that's on. You can send them onto him.
And I think he'll always have like a pretty like heavy warning with it.
Yeah.
Like this is last resort type stuff as he slides the prescription across his desk.
Yeah. Harold, of course, you, Mr. Williams, and Mr. Kincaid, you all go through the process, and once those canopic jars are full of this liquid, you each go and take your place on a pedestal. You fill your chalice with the contents of that canopic jar. It mixes with the blood that was left in there from your
Sacrifice.
donation. And when you down it, you enter into a deep sleep. And when you wake up, you are one of those creatures. And you spend the rest of existence as part of that hive, reaching out through all of time and space with your mind and connecting with all of the others.
Nice.
And finally,
and Arthur?
I have a family.
Yes, and yes, you never feel disconnected again. Arthur, is there more you want to add to your?
No. But maybe it's time to find a different river.
So yeah, you after you maybe take one more trip down.
I might try the Snake River.
You can't quite get that itching feeling out from between your shoulder blades whenever you pass these areas that that they
They're watching.
I'm just never going to be able to forget about
so
that.
You head up north into
I might head up into Idaho and
become a river
check
guide
out the
for
Snake
the
River,
snake
maybe.
and the salmon and
or go
the
further
Columbia.
to the Columbia, maybe.
You should kind of mess up and go Mississippi.
Yeah.
So I'm going somewhere far away from here. Oh no, not
Then
Mississippi.
you
Yeah.
end up in the Delta,
Yep.
some tribe bringing you into the oneness. Yeah.
Well, there are many different types of mothers in
Right.
the Lovecraftian universe. So
Yeah.
Anyone want to add any others for their farewell?
I think
I'm
I got a
pretty good.
pretty good vision of it.
yeah,
All right. Well, thank you all.
Yeah.
thank you, man.
Fun, bud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of too bad we lost a little bit there, but I think it worked out just fine in the end.
Yeah, I think it worked out.
I think this is the first one shot I've survived.
Yeah.
As I was.
This has been a Deathwatch production. Thank you for listening.